Welcome, everyone. So, welcome back. This is Magda K. And if you're new to this place, then welcome. By the way, let me just double check that the camera doesn't seem all that great. This is the technical aspects. There you go. So welcome to this space. And if you're new here, this channel is all about creating the most beautiful, intimate life, most beautiful relationships. And this is both the relationship to your beloved, but also the relationship to yourself and to life itself. Because if you think of it, really the art of living is the art of relationships. And today I want to talk about something that's been on my mind for a while. And this is to speak about this idea that some of us just simply feel unlucky in love. Some of us, it's like no matter what we do, we cannot find anyone, right? It feels like I'm doomed. It's against me. I'm never going to find love. And the reason why I really wanted to speak about it is because I feel we live in times that give a bit of a false sense that if you follow my process, step 1, step 2, step 3, you're gonna get that. And I know so many incredible coaches who have made it in whatever area is their expertise, and then they teach people, and yeah, they charge a lot and they deserve to charge a lot, but like some of their clients get those results and some don't. And it's the same with love. There are people who really invest in themselves. They really keep studying and understanding the dynamics of relationships, and they may have great relationship skills, and they may be a really good catch. And I on purpose don't say great catch because that can be subjective, but I think objectively we can say if someone is a good catch, if someone would make a good partner, right? And yet somehow these things still don't happen for them. So this is the aspect that people don't talk about. I don't think I have ever seen any coach in any area of life speak about what I want to talk about today. Okay. So, my field of expertise is intimacy, sexuality, and intimate relationships, right? I teach you how to be more aware of who you are, of your needs, how to develop skills to really show up in the relationship, how to be aware of all the ways how we sabotage ourselves, how to learn about our sexuality. And I really do strongly believe in all of this. And I understand that for some of you, you will take this and you will see results right away. For other people, this may take some time. And yet for others, this may feel like this path is taking a really long time. And again, people don't talk about it because when you talk about coaches, of course, they all want to sell themselves. And how do you sell? By telling you that my model works. It has worked for everyone who worked with me. It will work for you. And I get it. I come from the business background. I understand sales. I know that sells because it's this big promise of something what you truly desire. So what I'm going to talk about in this video is not about selling myself. It's not about selling anyone. Okay, but this is the truth. And I feel that I wish more people were talking about it, because I feel like if you feel unlucky in love, what you're going to find in this training right now will help you find self-acceptance to where you are in your life and why you are here, instead of thinking like you're unlucky, or that the universe doesn't love you, or that everyone is against you. Okay. So here's how life works. Everything is a co-creation. We are creating our reality with the spirit. Okay. You can call it God, you can call it universe, whatever is the word that feels good for you. It can be spiritual or not. But I'm sure you've experienced multiple times that there's some things in your life that you can impact, right? I really want it, I'm gonna make it happen. And then there are other things that no matter how much you try, they don't happen. And other times you didn't try a lot and they happen. It's like there's some other force, right, that impacts your life. So that's what this co-creation is. And people talk a lot about going with the flow, not resisting the reality, like following your intuition. And that's the thing. What is meant by this is that there is this force that is not you. It doesn't come from you, or it is not from your conscious mind, not from your action, that impacts your life. And so that part or that energy is building your life together with you. So there is a part of your life that depends on you, on how you show up and what you do every single day. And there is a part of your life that does not depend on you and does not depend on what you do every single day. And this is really that's, like I said, the art of living, knowing when to push and when to let go, knowing when it's up to you and when it's up to the spirit. When is the time, like, you know what, I've done my part, now I'm going to relax and let this energy do the rest. Knowing that, that's not easy. That's the art of living, and those who master that, they have great lives. But again, this is mastered moment to moment. So why is it important here? When it comes to relationships in your intimate life, there will be a part that depends on you. And there will be the part that doesn't really depend on you, on your conscious mind. Okay. So that part that depends on you. This is you, for example, watching this video. This is you signing up for trainings and courses. This is you studying attachment styles and love languages and learning about needs and how to express them and learning Tantra and doing workshops and retreats and showing up. And then there's the part that doesn't depend on you. Like, for example, why is it that some people bump into their perfect partner? Some stories, when you hear them, how people met, it's just amazing. That was not designed by anyone. That somehow happened. So that part doesn't. So I'm talking to anyone who has done things. Like I said, you've invested in coaches and you've been studying and reading, and yet that other part like doesn't seem to match your effort. You are showing up, but that luck, like just that right person showing up in your life, that doesn't seem to happen. That's what I want to talk about today. So if that's okay with you, let's travel a little bit in time. I think it was 10 years ago, maybe more. And I picked that book. It's called Your Soul's Plan. Your Soul's Plan. The full title is Discovering the Real Meaning of the Life You Planned Before You Were Born. So here's what the book was about. It was a story of a medium who would help people understand some really challenging situations in their life. So, for example, your loved one would die, or a child was deaf, or paralyzed, and people needed answers because they didn't make sense. Why me? And so this medium, what they would do is they had the ability to connect to the spirit of that person and ask them details why. And so the book was full of stories. Oh, for example, there was this child that was deaf. And of course, the parents felt so much pain about this. But when they connected to the soul of the child, what that soul said is, in the previous life, that soul lived in a household where there was a lot of yelling. So the soul asked that this time, I don't want to hear any noise. So can I be deaf? There was another time, a mother with an alcoholic and a drug addict son. And of course, it was breaking her heart. When she connected to the soul of the son, the soul said that this is me helping you learn acceptance, compassion, and love. So for any of these, painful stories, once the medium connected to the soul, there was a reason. The soul chose that experience. So I remember reading this book and thinking, this sounds like a total bullshit. And yet, if I took this belief on, if I believed what is said in this book, my life would be better. My life would be easier. And so I actually decided to take on the belief that everything that the book wrote about is true. Now, you can also think it's bullshit. But one amazing thing about beliefs is that they don't have to be right or wrong. It's more whether those beliefs serve us or not. This is why, this whole conversation, does God exist or not? It kind of doesn't matter. It's whether that belief serves you or not. And it's the same here. If you believe that everything that happens to us in this life is because we ask for it and we're actually getting something from that, would that belief support you? Because those 10 years ago, I figured that, you know what, that is an empowering belief versus feeling like a victim that something bad happened to me or the person I love. And I didn't quite realize how pivotal this book was for me and my path of understanding reality. And since then, so much has happened in my life. I studied so many modalities. I started teaching what I teach now. So much happened, so much. But that was one of those seeds, the planting of the seed that eventually is going to grow into a beautiful tree. So if it's a new concept for you, this may feel a bit stretchy, but once again, just stay open, because maybe this may feel like a BS, but a part of your body will be like, there's something there. So especially from the Western mindset, we just kind of think, this is me, the physical body, my physical reality. And then some people, especially these days, like some Tantra teachers and yoga teachers and meditations teachers, they just kind of say something about a soul and energy. But the starting point is always my physical reality. Now, indeed, in yoga and Tantra, and then all of those paths of spirituality, it's actually the other way around. And in fact, Christianity and Islam says the same. You are a soul with a physical body. What's important here is that the soul is a bigger concept than the physical experience. The soul has a physical experience, and not just one, but multiple. Versus, this is me, this is all I have. And there's this misunderstood concept that some people call soul. So why is this important? Because it takes this ability to zoom out beyond that one physical life to understand that your soul is going through evolution. If you look at your physical life from the moment you were born until your death, there's all these things that you're learning. But within this long period of learning called your life, you have, for example, high school. And high school, we know it's just like a phase of your learning process. So if we zoom out and look at you and your evolution as a soul experience, then this physical life you're having right now, it's like high school or one class of high school. This is not the beginning and the end of the whole story. It's just one of the chapters. So there's something happening before you were born, and there's something that will be happening after you were born. So there's some big lessons that each of the souls is exploring and learning. But just like, when you meet other human beings, we have different age, different experiences, different bodies, different conditioning, different personalities. So every human has a unique path of evolving and exploring and learning. And it's same true for our souls. Our souls, each is different and it has its own path of growing. And so for each of the physical life, we have like 1, 2, maybe 3 main lessons, but usually they're kind of connected. There's like a theme of your life. Okay. Now, for some of us, this main theme, this main lesson may be around accepting your body. So I'm sure it's either you or people who really struggle with weight. And they may be quite slim, but have, unhealthy eating patterns, or they may really be, really, really overweight and really struggle with this. And no matter what they try, they just cannot seem to lose weight. That is a theme of their life. There's something there, right? There's a reason why it's such an important part of their life, because the soul is learning something from that. So again, for some of us, this main lesson may be around the body. We have other people for whom this may be self-love. Look how often people develop cancer. And then cancer seems to shift so many things for these people. It's a horrible experience, of course, to go through such a disease. And yet for the soul, that was part of the experience of learning something. Now, for other people, this main lesson may be around money, right? When you seem to always struggle with money. And then for other souls, this lesson may be around love. So that's what I mean when you feel like you're just unlucky, that no matter what you do, it's like the faith is against you. I want you to think the other way. I have friends like this. I know quite a few people where they just so easily find a partner and they don't have a lot of drama in all of this. And when the relationship ends, they go through the breakup, but they seem to be able to stand back on their feet pretty well. And then they find someone else. I know people who have been in beautiful, harmonious relationships for years, who are starting families, are getting married. It just seems so effortless for them. And I know people for whom it's really, really difficult. So this is where understanding the soul's path can really help. So it may be that your soul decided that whatever it is that it wants to learn, it will learn it the best while experiencing the struggles of intimate relationships. And we all know the incredible pain of not being able to find someone to love and to love us. The pain of feeling lonely. And you can think that, well, let's say if you wanted to study like law, and you're thinking, which university can I go to? Well, maybe Harvard business, a law school would be the best. It's going to be really hard, but you're going to learn a lot. So, your soul maybe in a way like an advanced soul and really focused on learning and saying, you know what, I want to go to the best school to learn about this. And the best school is going to be challenging. It's going to be difficult with a lot of homework, just like the Ivy League. So you can think of this like your soul choosing Ivy League experiences to learn certain lessons. And it decided that it's best to learn it through these challenges around intimate relationships. Okay. You have heard concepts like karma. So karma basically is this kind of giving and receiving flow of the universe, the yin and yang, the natural pull to find balance. Universe and nature is always in perfect balance. What is going outwards is coming back, okay? If you look at, for example, the waves, right, and tides, what comes towards the shore will come back into the ocean. Everything moves in perfect rhythm. So if you look at your lives, more than one physical life, if there was something you gave, then in the next life you will receive. But if it's something you are receiving more than giving, in the next life it will be your chance to give. So again, we're looking at this balance over multiple lifetimes. So yes, there absolutely may be the case that maybe in previous lives, you took away from your partners. You were not the best partner. So now it's simply being recalibrated. So you're, this, it's not about like paying, it's not a punishment from the universe. It's more trying to find the balance of these energies. So when you look at people who seem to be so lucky in love, well, maybe their soul has done a lot of work in previous lives. Maybe they have struggled intensely in the previous lives. So now they finally get to enjoy it, the easiness of this. Maybe it's them receiving the karma from what they did in the previous lives. Or maybe, and that's usually the case, their lessons are somewhere else. And either they're somewhere else because they happen later, or they're happening in other areas of life. Okay, so maybe in love it seems to flow, but somewhere else it doesn't. Oh, it's really hot today. So for all of you who feel unlucky in love, because probably a lot of your focus goes there, the challenge for you, and it is a challenge because it's not right away available to your mind, to your psyche. Look at your life, and in what aspects of your life do you seem to be more lucky than other people? Okay. So you're not lucky in love. Where are you lucky? And appreciate it. Appreciate it. And look, it's not the game of equality. This is the conscious mind that needs a reason and needs everything to be equal. That's not how life works. Okay? It's like it's overall we're finding the balance, but it doesn't have to happen in the same time. So you may feel like you have periods of time, like, I don't know, a few years where everything seems to go against you. No, it will come back. And this may come back in this life, this may come back in the next life. And I know this is not really like a good news that maybe you're going to get everything you want in the next physical life, but this is also where faith, religion, and spirituality comes in, because the more we can connect to this idea that my life goes beyond that physical experience, the easier it is to accept where we are and not fight the reality, and then just look at it. Okay, well, that's the game I'm playing this time. These are the tools that I have. These are the that's the character I'm playing with, and how can I make the most of it? Okay. Now, how does it work really? Because like I said, on one hand, you're going to notice these specific areas where you struggle, and others where things seem to be easy. So you can say whether for your soul, whether your soul decided that love life is going to be a more challenging area where you will be having these challenges, right? Look at your life and just notice whether there is like a repetition of something, where there's actually a theme to your life. So here's what I mean by this. I'll give you my life as an example. So last year I had an accident on my motorcycle. Now I had some accidents before, but it was an incident, a singular thing that didn't have any story around it. Like, I didn't feel triggered. Oh my God, why does it always happen to me? And bear in mind, I've had a few accidents on my motorcycle, okay? But it didn't take me to the story, oh, I always fall. I am not meant to ride a motorcycle. I am not good with this. I didn't have that type of thoughts. But I'll give you a different story. Now, if you're someone who's been following me, then you probably saw me because I posted about this. About 2 months ago, I was in Lisbon and I had a great time, and I saw some of my private clients, made good money. And then on my way to the airport, I lost my backpack. You know, the bag that you take with you on the plane that has all of your most precious belongings. That's the bag I lost. So we're talking about a few €1,000 that I lost like this. And for a whole day, I was having panic attacks. Why? Because that is a story for me. Okay. I think I have a video on my Instagram where I go more in details into this. And I feel like one day I'll probably share more about my own conditioning, because I feel, again, like we don't share about those aspects enough. But when I was 16, my dad went bankrupt. Before that, I had a very comfortable life. We lived in a beautiful apartment. We traveled a lot. Like, I didn't know what it meant to have any issues with money. And then my dad went bankrupt when I was 16. And since then, my family has been going up and down, making money, not making money, losing something, having a great opportunity for lots of money and losing that opportunity. And that is a theme in my life. So when I went to Lisbon, made a lot of money, felt amazing, and then all of it was lost just like that, that triggered that story. So you want to look at your life, and especially if we're discussing love, I want you to just look at your life and actually, be honest with yourself. Like, have there been like incidents, series of incidents that would kind of show that, yeah, this is a recurring theme for you. Okay. A recurring theme for you. Or was it just one time? Okay, was it just one time? And like I said, look, our souls, every single soul is learning something. For one of us, for one person, this may be love, for other it's money, body, or whatever it is. And these challenges may happen at the beginning of life or later in life. Again, it's uniquely designed. But to know whether this is for you with love, just look at your life. And something I really strongly believe it's beautiful and helpful for anyone to go deeper into this is to get your chart. So there's a lot of different systems that can give you insights into this. You can look at your human design, gene keys, astrology, and I personally find astrology, and especially Vedic astrology, to be the best source of information. Now let me just get a bit more water here. I was actually at CrossFit right before getting home, showering and coming live to talk to you, my loves. And it's such a lovely, sunny, hot day. So back to those charts, okay? So when you get the reading, like, you can actually ask, what does it say about my love life? Vedic astrology looks at karma as well. So if you're kind of curious, if, like, I actually had this in the past. I ended a relationship and I was really curious about it because it just felt so weird. And I looked into the karma of me and this partner, and I was told that in the previous life, there was a negative karma from my side towards that soul. So in this life, we're balancing the karma. And yeah, there was another chart that I had, human design, that kind of was giving me insights, that for me, best relationships are going to come later in life once I turn 50. So there's a lot of insights like this. Also in the Vedic astrology, and by the way, I'll speak about this. I do not have great karma around relationships. This is one of my main themes for my life. So in the Vedic astrology, you can look at Rahu. For me, Rahu is in the house of relationships. So there's different things that will tell you, like, okay, this is a bit of an area of a struggle. Okay. Now, that does not mean that you're doomed. Okay, it doesn't mean that love is not for you and you're unlucky in all of this, and what's the point trying? The opposite is true. What it says is that this is the main area for your soul in this life. Okay, that yes, this is where you're going to have a lot of struggles and challenges, and it's not going to be an easy ride, but it's because you're burning a lot of karma here. Okay, and you're learning essentials so you can enjoy a great intimate life. You can also look at it that for some souls, if they have a very important lesson that's somewhere else, the soul may have decided, okay, because, for example, we're going to go through the experience of losing a child, having a disease, losing money, right? There's going to be this huge experience. So we got to make sure that we are supported enough in this life to be able to go through that. So they may have a great relationship, be very lucky in love, because they need to source the energy from that area to go through the lessons in another area of your life. But in another life, then you're like, okay, now I'm ready to look at love. So again, it doesn't mean that you're unlucky or that you're less evolved or that you're behind. None of this. Like, again, it's the conscious mind that likes to say who's better and who's worse, all this competition. That's not really how it works, okay? So you're not doomed. It doesn't say you're worse than anyone else. It doesn't say that if someone is in a great relationship and you're not, that they're somehow more worthy, okay? Like I said, what it means is that this is the area where you're learning. It's a very important area for you. So now, if this is such an important area for you, most likely you will actually feel that a lot of your energy is engaged. So you may find, again, if you look at your chart, whether it's astrological chart or any other reading, you'll probably will see a theme in your chart that kind of supports that's the main theme. Whatever your soul is meant to learn is around that. Okay, so I actually remember looking at a few charts, and there was, again, someone who had Rahu in their relationships house in the Vedic astrology. And Rahu, it's the head without the body. So Rahu represents all of our needs and desires that can never be satiated. Right? It's like the head that keeps eating, but because there is no body, it will never be full. So that shows a lot of challenges. And if, wherever you have your Rahu, it's going to show you that this is where you are experiencing deep, profound lessons. Right? And I actually remember looking at different charts with my clients and my friends, and they would have a lot of planets in the same house of relationships. Right? So it's like, that's mostly where their energy is going in this life. So that means that just because you may feel like you're unlucky in love, It means that no, you are not meant to give up. Okay, again, the opposite. This is where you are meant to be engaging your energy. This is what you're meant to be learning. And how do you learn? Well, through trial and error, right? Through not giving up, through trying again, through putting yourself out there, through observing, experimenting, studying, right? So you want to keep doing these things. So let's go back to what I said at the beginning. We co-create our reality with the spirit. There is a part that depends on you, on your conscious mind, on what you do. And then there is part that kind of depends on faith, the universe, your soul, that you don't really have direct access to. Now, when this doesn't flow, right, we have a tendency of abandoning our part. But then you have the zero energy going into your love life. So instead, your job is to do everything you can in the area that does depend on you. Okay? It's a bit like, imagine you want to learn to dance like salsa, and you're partnered with someone who really sucks. Okay? They do not know the steps, they're horrible at dancing. So you have a choice. If your partner sucks, you can be like, well, I'm not gonna do anything on, from my end either. I'm not gonna learn the steps. I'm not gonna do the dancing. And you're not gonna dance. There's gonna be no dance. Or you can look at it differently. Well, okay, my partner sucks. They're not showing up. Well, but I'm gonna show up for myself. And I'm still gonna learn the steps and do the best I can, even though my partner is not good for me. And yes, absolutely. If you look at someone else who has a great partner, you see how fast they evolve and progress. Yeah, it's true. So if you have spirit supporting you in your love life, yeah, it happens. Yes, it's easier. And trust me, I understand that. But just because your dance partner doesn't want to do, or for whatever reason they cannot, maybe they broke the leg. Maybe it's not there that they don't want to do it. Maybe they literally cannot, okay, because they broke the leg. Whatever is their story, it's theirs, but you still show up. So you take ownership and responsibility for your part of your life, the part that does depend on you. So that means keep giving love, a chance. Like keep showing up, keep, whether it's Tinder or going on dates and speaking to people, keep doing this. Keep studying and learning. Like probably there's some big healing to take place in that area. So keep reading books. Absolutely. Keep reading books about relationships. Keep learning skills, communication, learn attachment styles, look at your childhood wounds, heal the relationship with mother and father, lots and lots of things. Get a coach, get a healer, get a tantrika, sign up for online courses, do workshops, do retreats. One interesting thing is that one of the ways how we learn something is by teaching this. So a lot of Tantra teachers and relationship coaches actually are people who have a lot of lessons in their love lives. A lot of sexuality and Tantra teachers, these are, men and women who have really deep struggles or abuse around their sexuality. One of the ways to kind of burn karma around something is by helping other people heal in that field. Okay, so that's part of my path. For me, there's a huge lesson around it, around love, relationships, self-love, needs, commitment. And one of the ways how I am learning and going through my path is through guiding you to the best of my ability. And notice probably with yourself as well, because it happens in many, many fields, how often do we actually teach the very thing that we are trying to learn? Look how often when you, if you've been struggling with something, I see it very often, for example, with food and diet and exercise. When a person tries something new and they're so excited because they feel like they finally found the answer after struggling for so many years. And so right away, you see them posting on social media and basically almost preaching, I found the solution. And chances are that this person in a few months or a few years is going to actually say the opposite, because they are discovering and learning for themselves. And one of the ways how they do it is by sharing their own discoveries with other people to assist you, to help you experiment. And that's a beautiful path, by the way. So, babes, what I want you to take away from this, because look, I really understand it, I really do. Like, um, when you seem to like always fall for the unavailable person, or just like, no, you never really like anyone, or the people you like, they're on the other side of the world. Like, it just seems like, why, right? And especially if you look at yourself and you're thinking, I know I would be a good partner. So what I want you to do, if you haven't, get your chart. And I think your astrological chart or your Vedic astrology chart is great. So just look, there's so many of those people doing this. I have contacts as well. If you want anything, reach out to me. But get your chart with the focus on understanding what is your karma, what is your story, what are your advantages and disadvantages around love. I think that's very helpful. Secondly, just remember everyone is on their own unique path. Every soul is learning something. And if your soul decided it wants to learn something in the area of love and you feel like, but why does it have to be so hard? Just give your soul a bit of appreciation, because your soul decided to go to Ivy League. Your soul is going through PhD. That's not an easy task, okay? That says a lot about your soul's strength and ability to learn and evolve. Another aspect is, remember, do not give up. It does not mean that you're doomed. It just means that you have to do a bit of more work. Okay, this is the area where you really need to show up. You need to invest. You need to give an energy, and then you're going to get your results. And remember, babes, okay, the places where we struggle the most in life is where the most rewards will come. So if it feels like you can never meet the right person, chances are that when you finally do, that relationship is going to be absolutely magnificent. So keep going, keep walking through this. Giving up in this life is not going to do anything for you. It will only postpone all those lessons to your next physical life. Okay, so this is something I always repeat myself. If it's something is too painful and I don't want to go through this, I want to resist and fight it, all I'm doing is postponing that experience for the next life. So if I already started going through it, I've already experienced pain and I made some progress, I want to go all the way in. Okay. And like I said, loves, I know this is not a very popular perspective, and you don't really hear, you'll definitely not hear any relationship coach tell you that, hey, maybe your karma is going to make it a bit more difficult for you, and my teachings may not necessarily help, right? I know people will not tell you this, and that's why I'm telling you this, because I, of course, want to help and assist, but I want you to understand that we are all unique. And yes, for some of us, love is not an easy area of our life. We do struggle, okay? And it doesn't mean you're less worthy of those who have love. And it doesn't mean there's anything wrong with you, okay? Because it's so easy to judge. The spiritual community loves judging. So if you are not making huge money, it means that, oh, you have all the wounds and scarcity mentality. Oh, you're so inferior. Your energy is too low. If you're not in a great tantric relationship and having multiple organs, oh, you have blockages. You need to work and heal. It's like, oof, let it go, darling. Let's just take it easy. Accept our paths and let's love every single step of this path. That's what I want you to take with you. Okay. And I'd love to hear from you. What's been your story around love? Have you felt unlucky? And if so, share. It's like kind of, for me speaking here, it's like breaking this taboo. It's like, yeah, a lot of us have wounds around money and we don't seem to be able to break free. A lot of us seem to have wounds around love and we don't seem to be able to break free from them. Like, I feel like there's so much shame around this. So people don't speak up. We all pretend to have ideal lives. And the reality is that no one does. We just don't talk about it because the current ideal of social media is that we're all perfect. And even when we're not perfect, we have a very perfect social media strategy to show just how imperfect I am. Let's make it raw and real, my love. So share in comments. What's your truth around relationships? Thank you, my love, so much. Have a beautiful day. I'll be catching you next week. Mwah.